Before we start, this video was recorded on the 8th of March, so happy International Women's Day to the 2.6% of my audience. Please do not leave us, we are extremely lonely and it's an absolute sausage party here. So thank you for being awesome and please continue being awesome for the next 365 days. And then we'll see where we land, okay? Okay, let's start the video. Old school RuneScape is extremely broken right now. I actually feel bad for the lovely developers we have because every day they come to work and their first thought probably is like, oh no, what happened now and how can I turn this bug into a feature? Just in 2023 alone, I think we had at least like 10 different cases where something goes completely wrong. We had it with the Venom and Poison problems, we had it with Phantom Muspa. I mean, just a day after the weekly update happened, you can't access banks sometimes. I click on the banker and in the chat it says I can't access that, even though it shouldn't be the case. And it's no different with the wilderness bosses because it turns out that there is an unintended mechanics that's been happening for months now. Disclaimer before we start, Jagex, please don't ban me. I'm just showing this as an example. I'm not gonna abuse it myself and I made no profit of this except the example cases you see in the video. And I don't even think it's a bug. It's just unintended mechanic that probably was overlooked when the bosses were released. But maybe it's actually a feature, even though it shouldn't be. So yeah, please no Panorino Cappuccino. I've been a good boy. I pay my taxes and help old ladies across the street. Okay, thank you. So I got a message from one of my lovely subscribers saying to test this method out, and it's actually been available to everyone since the beginning of the Wieldy Bosses release. And if you have ever killed any of the Wieldy Bosses before, you probably accidentally done it yourself. So here's how it works. As you can see, I'm killing Venanatis right now. Now if someone else would enter this room, we should share the loot between us. Since I've done most of the damage, I will get the MVP loot, and whoever comes in here in the middle of the kill gets loot based on how much damage they have dealt. And that's called sharing system. We actually had the system in the original RuneScape, but it turned out to be a complete disaster because you could just abuse it to get better drops. Now, what happens if the other person comes into this room and I leave the cave? Well, I won't be receiving any loot at all and 100% of the contribution goes to the other player that enters the cave and finished off the kill, even though by now I've dealt most of the damage. And that's where players could potentially start abusing this. Because the problem is, this also works with all types of Iron Man accounts. Now granted, I don't think it's that abusable for money making as there are better methods out there even for mid-level accounts, and this has its own obstacles that I will soon talk about, but it's good for collection log hunters. So let me move over to my other account to prove my point. This is a mid-level Iron Man. It has 70 stats, it's not capable of doing Wieldy Bosses on its own. In fact, if you put 5 of these accounts together, they would still have hard time doing Wieldy Bosses efficiently, but with this method I showcased you above, I can just get efficient KCs on account that shouldn't be able to kill Venanatis or any of the Wieldy Bosses. Firstly, like I showed beforehand, I go in with my main account with max gear, max stats, max everything. I have my newbie Iron Man waiting outside, logged out, waiting to hop into the cave, and I also have a scout on my second monitor just in case a PKer comes. So this is kind of bulletproof. Venanatis has 850 HP, so what I have to do right now is deal over 800 damage with my main account, leave the caves, leave Venanatis with like 10, 20, 30 HP left, and bring in my Iron Man to finish off the kill. And essentially I can feed my Iron Man full Venanatis kills with absolutely minimal effort. No supplies are gonna be wasted on the Iron Man, there is zero risk involved because I also have a scout outside waiting just in case there's a peeker trying to snipe something. And I feel like this shouldn't exist. It feels extremely dirty doing this right now. Now again, I personally don't think this is a very good moneymaker for your Iron Man as I need time to set this up. As soon as the KC is done on my Iron Man, I have to leave the caves on that account. Then I have to come in with my main account and start all over again. And it's a big time waste honestly. But technically you can do this even more efficiently with multiple accounts, aka you set up one world for the Iron Man, then immediately hop to another world and set that up as well with like 2 or 3 main accounts. But this is just showcasing that you can even do it alone if you don't have those options available to you. Now there is a small block in that I think you have to pay 50k, 40k, 30k coins every time you enter the caves, which kinda limits this for your Iron Man, but the drops you get from wieldy bosses heavily outweigh the supplies you use here. Let's take Vanadis for instance. Just getting common drops like 900 blood runes, 300 diamond bolts, 700 death runes, 500 red spider eggs, I mean the list keeps going and going. 150 onyx bolt tips alone, if alked, are around 1.2 million GP. But, and it's a round, juicy but. What this mainly is good for is collection log items. Essentially I can farm the Korasi sword or dragon pickaxes or just upgrades to the wieldy weapons or even the wieldy rings with almost zero risk involved. And as far as I understand, Iron Man should stand alone because we are, by the way. Again, let me emphasize this, I don't think you can qualify this as a bug, it just seems like an unintended mechanic that got kinda overlooked, and a very easy fix for this will be number 1, make an instance for Iron Man only like we have with Corp Caves and God Wars dungeons, or number 2, whenever you leave the caves, the damage you dealt is restarted. So if I deal 800 damage on my main account to Vanadis and leave the caves, the boss HP restores to full. And furthermore, this isn't everything. God, I feel like this is a Topshop commercial right now. Okay, so you can do this with 2 other wieldy bosses as well, not only Vanadis, as they all have the same mechanics and it works the same way. Let's look at Verian for example. You go in with your main account, you do everything you're supposed to do in the boss, get it to the second phase, kill off the minions and all the hard work just to set it up for your newbie Iron Man, and few hit points before Verian is sent to the Shadow Realm, you leave the cave. You drop in with your newbie Iron Man and snipe the kill, and take the full entire loot. It's that simple. And this also works with Callisto, the beer as well. The idea is exactly the same. I mean, you get the point by now. You do the KC with your main, leave it at 10 HP, leave the cave, finish off with your Iron Man. The thing is, I am doing this extremely inefficiently, banking every KC just in case to minimize risk, etc, etc. But you can set this up way better, and players have done already that. The bad part about all of this is that players have found this out for over a month now and started setting up services for it. Essentially what you do is you pay 1 to 3 million GP per one single kill, you have 2 or 3 boosters with max gear set up worlds for you, and let's say I want to get 100 KC on my newbie Iron Man. You pay the boosters 200 million GP and they set 100 worlds for you right there, right now, and just tell you to hop whatever world they previously set up. You snipe the kills, and with that method you can even get up to 30 kills per hour, which I feel like shouldn't be the case. I mean, people have been banned for much less on Iron Man accounts before, but I guess like everybody kind of profits here because the Irons use their main accounts to pay the 2 million GP per kill to the boosters and then use those KCs to feed their logs. I don't know, it's a weird thing. So what do you guys think about this? Should this be allowed? Technically you're just boosting your Iron Man account with your main account. But granted, there are other methods that already work like that. For instance, if you go to Puro to catch Implinks, you can use your main account to use the Dark Lure spell to lure the Implinks towards you, and use your newbie account to catch those Implinks, and completely neglect the fact that you need to complete a master level quest to use Dark Lure spells, or the runes that it costs to cast that spell. And there are many other methods for that, so I would love to know what you guys think about this. Are Jagex slowly giving up on the integrity of Iron Mans, where every new update that comes out you can basically boost your Iron Man account with your main account, or is this just an anomaly, one-time thing? But that's it for me now. I love you all very much and I'll see you in a few days with another video. Please subscribe, I love you. Okay, bye.